Thank you all so very much for being here. I have never done a media roundtable like this before, so I'm really appreciative of all of you guys showing up and treating me with kind kid gloves because I've never done this before, so thank you. So I am originally from the Northeast. I've worked all up and down the East Coast. I've only ever worked in film production, so this is my whole world. It's all I know. I was in Georgia for probably about 10 years. I went to grad school in the Savannah College of Art and Design, went back to New York to work, and then there was so much production happening in Georgia that I was finding myself flying back and forth, and I just relocated back to Savannah because it made sense. There was a ton of production on the coastline, so I fell into film commission work out there, was there for the last 8 years. Absolutely love working in the film commission world. I always joke, like, who would have thought I would have fallen in love with policy? But I really... I know, but I really do enjoy being a public servant, and this work is really in service of the film community. So that's kind of the approach that I take to this role. I'm very lucky that Dallas nabbed me, and I'm out here. I've actually had never been in Texas before taking this job, so I'm not only new to Dallas, but I'm new to the state, and it's its own culture and country, and I am learning a lot about it every single day, but I just adore it so far, and it's been wonderful having Austin as an incredible teammate who has just been kind of showing me the ropes of everything Dallas. Thank you for that, Austin.
There's a lot here.
So Austin, tell us your background.
So I'm a born and raised Texan. I grew up in a small town, not really small anymore, called Stephenville, Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
There's recognition.
I know, that's rare. So thank you for recognizing my childhood. I went to TCU. I graduated there with a film degree in 2016. I worked in the industry as a PA, as a grip for a number of years. Then I got bored and went to SMU and got my master's in film, and they don't offer that program anymore, which is a shame, but that's not here right now. Worked in the industry again, and then a thing called COVID happened, and then I got a real job with benefits, and that was doing media production, which worked out. And then I was teaching, I was working at a medical school, and then this job opened up, and I said, sure, why not? And then sure, why not became, oh, I guess I got it. And now I've been here for a year, so yay. Thank you. I don't have to.
So is there anything that is coming up or going on right now that you would like to talk about?
So there's a lot of things that we cannot talk about, and I do appreciate your understanding on this. So in our role, we are constantly fielding prospective productions. So what that looks like on our end is that we will have a production company, a producer, a location manager reach out to us, and with full-blown confidentiality, we talk about their project and we see how it could best creatively fit here in Dallas. Sometimes that looks like creating a location package, which is what Austin does, where he will collectively pull images that we have shot across the region to kind of see what fits their script or their lookbook or a locations list. And we're really trying to give them as many options as possible. We're dealing with creatives, so they want to know that they don't just have one perfect house that matches their hero location. They want an option of at least 6 that they can choose from and fit, and has them fit the production the best way. So that's just one aspect of it. We're also talking to them about budget, about crew, how many crew members deep we are here, our resources, our vendors, all of the support services that we have, and we really are selling Dallas at this level. So we are routinely taking meetings, taking phone calls, interfering with all of these studios to just kind of make sure that they're aware of everything we have to offer here.
Yeah.
So that being said, we are currently looking at a lot more productions after or hopefully if SB 22 passes. So a majority of the productions that we are speaking with have specifically targeted the fall, knowing that if SB 22 passes, it would be enacted in the fall. So we are looking at several TV series. Some of those now are faith-based shows, because if you haven't been following the lifespan of SB 22, it's changed a few times, and actually it's in the House right now, and they just tacked on a 2.5% uplift for faith-based content. So there is now a menu a la carte that you can select to get up to 31% for the larger tiered productions. So that's kind of shifted a lot of the conversation to some of these faith-based shows. So that's great. There are a number of other, I guess we'd call them secular shows, or never had to say that before.
Other shows that aren't faith-based.
Non-faith-based shows, other genre shows, mainstream.
Yes.
I've never
The
had a
other
comment
side.
on it before, but it's been a whirlwind of faith-based this week. But so yeah, other genre shows have been reaching out to us. So we have a couple series that are in, hopefully in the pipeline, and that we can convince to come here, and several feature films. Some of them we hope to land in some of the larger studio spaces that we have.
Yeah. There's a lot coming.
There's a lot coming,
There's a
and
lot
they're
coming.
all very exciting, and we hope that we can announce them soon.
Yeah.
So we appreciate your patience, because no one will be faster to let you know about it than we will when we know we can announce it.
Yeah.
So, but it's really up to the productions. The production have to sanction us to be able to talk about it.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us about the role of the Film Commission. So you're bringing in all these productions. Then we have all these talented folks that work here, whether it be sound folks, set designers, costumers, transportation folks. So how could those folks get part of this pie that's potentially coming here? How do you
Absolutely.
help businesses and individuals who work in the industry get these jobs?
Sure. So I always talk about our office in terms of economic development. So we're really trying to bring as much investment to Dallas as possible, and workforce is a huge part of that. So productions save money when they hire locally, and we understand that. Productions understand that. I think somebody gave me a quote. They were like, it's about $1,600 per crew member a week that they save if they hire local, rather than bringing them in from out of town where they have to house and per diem them. So it's a massive cost savings there to shoot here and hire local. So what we do is, when production sanctions it, we put out crew calls allowing them to know that there is a production that is hiring locally. Some of them want to cast a large net, and others wish to kind of pick and choose between themselves. One of the things that we love to let filmmakers know about is that we have a free production database in which you can list yourself. And this is your listing. It's your own login, it's your own password. You can put whatever you want on it. You can link out to your socials, your reel, your web page. You can list all your credits there. And this is really what we use. So when we talk to these productions, they say, oh, we really, really need to know about what kind of DPs you have in town. So we go directly to our database. We click on the category that says director of photography. We capture that list, and we send that link directly to the production. So when we say that, this is one of the reasons we do this, is so that we can remain unbiased. We don't recommend any crew member over someone else, but this list is a perfect way for us to send a very robust roster to all of the productions that are looking to hire locally. So we encourage everyone to sign up for the database. If you have at least one paid professional film credit, you can get on the database.
Yeah.
And that is on our website, which is filmdallas.org. You'll see it on the top nav bar.
So first is literally the first navigation tab. So please use it. If you know folks who are not listed, please tell them to list themselves. We just had a show ask for PAs, and we also put together a crew call because we got permission to put together a crew call. They're looking for a very specific type of PA, and I think they found it. Fingers crossed that they did. But that's just one of the many things that we do in this office.
And also for you all, I mean, you guys are doing PR, you guys are doing camera work, you're photographers, you guys have your own podcast. All of that type of media can also be listed on the database, and you never know when someone's going to need somebody. Sometimes there's even roles for, they want local media to do cameos, to play reporters in a scene, all of that kind of stuff. So there's more options for exposure, but you have to be on that database to at least be seen.
Yeah.
I've been in there for like 30 years.
Good for you.
Great.
I love it.
that. And like,
Sick.
and what we always tell people is like, we never know if a production's gonna need you in 2 days, 2 months, or 2 years. It's really hit or miss based on the creative. No show is the same.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shows out there that are the same, but when they come into town, it feels like no 2 shows are the same.
How does it work with, oh gosh, it just flew in my head. When somebody is coming to town, are they also looking at other cities, or is it, so you really have to find ways to boost Dallas? And it's the city of Dallas, correct? Or is it the county of Dallas?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's both the city. We are under a city contract, so we operate under Visit Dallas. So we really are part of a tourism model to try to make sure that we are amplifying Dallas as much as possible. And Dallas County is kind of like our softer border, but really we understand that the Metroplex is a part of our region. So we're not going to not suggest something that is within the Metroplex if it means that we aren't going to have a show here.
Right.
Because we understand that if a show lands in Dallas, they are going to be putting actors up in Dallas hotels. They're going to be using Dallas vendors. They're going to be hiring our crew, and our crew is all over the Metroplex. So we work in tandem with the Fort Worth Film Commission. We work in tandem with some of the cities in the Metroplex, all of our permitting authorities and film-friendly liaisons.
Like Denton, like McKinney.
Exactly.
If a show is asking for something specific and we know it's in McKinney, we will call McKinney and get them on the phone with that particular show.
Yes.
Same with Denton, same with Midlothian even.
It's a benefit.
Yeah.
We're very much a rising tides raise all ships
Yeah.
mentality. So we understand that even if we're just getting a piece of the pie and Richardson or Carrollton or wherever is getting another piece of it, we're all benefiting from it, especially our workforce.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question about SB22.
Yes.
We talked a while back, you mentioned they were debating on doing a flat 30 and then a budget-based one, like for productions. Is there an update on which one they kind of landed on?
So right now they are currently codifying the program that has been at the state level already. So that is a tiered cash grant program. They have gotten it as it's written right now. This a la carte menu item that they have can get you up to 31% for the top tier. So when we're looking at majors and top tier productions that have larger budgets, they have the ability of capturing up to 31%.
Gotcha.
Yes.
The lower ones still, depending on how many things they check, will get anywhere from.
Correct. They cap out at lower percentages.
Yeah.
And I want to quote those percentages to you, but they keep changing. So, okay.
I'm just fingers crossed for flat 30. And that would be nice. That would be
It would be nice.
incentive here, but
Yes.
Fingers crossed, we'll see.
We'll see. It changes every day. So the faith-based uplift literally just happened like last week. So it's
so things are still moving.
very malleable still.
So when is that going, I mean, is there a deadline or?
June 2nd.
That is the
June 2nd?
end of session is June 2nd.
Oh, okay.
So last week they told us it was going to be voted on, and it wasn't. And this week they said it was going to be voted on,
It
and
probably
it
will
hasn't
be.
been. So we're fingers crossed it happens soon, but it will definitely, absolutely, 100% happen before June 2nd, or it's dead.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You talked a lot, especially in the beginning, about can't talk about stuff that we can later. Is there a plan, or is it within your purveyance of some kind of a regular cadence with people like the people in this room so that we can help promote said things to inform us of when you can talk about those things?
That's a great suggestion. I love that. So yeah, we could do maybe like an email blast to everyone in the room so that when we're able to sanction it and really get it out there, our main job is to amplify and make sure that people are aware of everything that's happening. So yeah, we would love to lean on you just as much as you would like to get information from us. So that's a great idea. I welcome that.
Somebody who's really good at it.
Yeah.
I am too, but she's good.
So yes, before I leave, I think Kelly has a list of all of your emails, and we can set that up on our end and make sure that we all stay in contact.
Yes.
Excellent suggestion. Thank you.
That's a great idea. Yes.
Yes, Deb.
What are your goals for the office? Are you going to implement new programs? Because the last film commissioner started a podcast that's been successful and started doing these like workshops on a regular basis and having done. So is there anything that you are personally implementing or any of your ideas for the next couple of years?
Yes, thank you. So we still have the podcast.
Still go.
Tony has come on as the premier sponsor of that, which we're very, very thankful for. Since he had kind of already created the voice of the podcast, we could just kind of let him do it. And I very much don't like to be on camera, so I'm allowing him to do that for me. Very, very happy for that. Yes, there's a couple programs in the works. I have some proposals that are still softly, tentatively being pitched. I hope that I will be able to announce those soon. And guess what? I will now have an email list of all of you to make sure that you guys are aware of it when it happens. But mostly what I am trying to do that I think that we could talk about now is I am currently, Austin and I are data collecting, and this is a heavy lift on our part, but when I arrived here, I realized that we weren't really tracking productions the way that we should, and we weren't really quantifying the amount of production spend that was actually happening in Dallas. So when I first arrived, I asked Austin what our spend was for last year, and he had this quote of $89 million. And I said, "Where's the rest of it, Austin?" And he goes, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, where's the rest of it?" And he goes, "Well," I was like, "Where did you get this number from?" And he's like, "Well, this is the permit pulls from the city of Dallas."
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay, great. Well, where's the rest of it?" And he's like, "This is the only data tracking that we've done."
Yeah.
So for me, that's only, in my professional opinion, that is only about a third of the work that's happening in Dallas. Most productions are happening on private property. They're happening on stage in virtual production studios. We know that a lot of these agencies are shooting in-house. A lot of our post work that's being done here is not being tracked or counted. So Austin and I really made it our mission for this year to reach out to our production companies, our agencies, our virtual production stages, and really start getting accurate data about the number of productions that they are doing under their houses, under their banners, and how much they are spending on those projects. Not their revenue, not what they're charging their clients, just the money that they are dumping into our local economy. Because at the end of the day, we want our legislators, first and foremost, to understand that the film industry is a boon for our local economies. The Hollywood is just a hot air balloon of money, and wherever they drop, they just dump a bunch of money for play pretend, and then they pick up and they fly away. And we want to benefit from that. So we say all the time Hollywood is on wheels, and it truly is.
Yeah.
And are you, in that number, are you adding like, we have several religious broadcasters like Daystar and TBN. Are you adding those, what they're doing, what Glenn Beck is doing?
Any and all. I don't care about genre.
So you're adding television in that as well?
Correct. So we will aggregate. So we'll have line items so that we can kind of break down feature films and episodic versus podcast. We were just saying before, podcasts shoot now. They are, for me, if it involves a camera and a screen, if it's screened entertainment, it's media production that we would like to track, especially because a lot of the post work that's happening might not have shot in Dallas, but it's definitely posting here. And that's a whole nother bin of people that are hired locally. We have editors, we have vis effects, colorists, we have all our ADR and sound engineers that are working in the post field here. We have fantastic post facilities. And I think it would do a disservice not to quantify that, especially because SB 22 actually has an uplift for post. It's 1% right now. I hope they make that 2.5 like everyone else. But it's changing every day.
Yeah, we'll see.
And we have
Yes,
a lot of voiceover work.
Yes, we do.
Games being
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So gaming is a weird subset that we're not sure how to tackle, but we would be happy to take that data and have an asterisk for it.
Yeah. It's something, I mean, especially with the history that Dallas has had with id and Gearbox, just to name two that have been here since the 80s and 90s. It would be a disservice not to talk to them. So
I was looking at the number of them that use actors, in stop motion and everything else to put into their games.
Yeah.
So I think that needs to be counted too.
And same with like Crunchyroll, Funimation. I still call them Funimation. Funimation, Crunchyroll, they're historic here as well. There's a lot happening here all the time.
And we employ a lot of people
Yes,
Yes.
we do.
that live here and pay taxes here and spend all of our money here.
Right. They pay property tax and they send their kids to schools here and they vote. And this is the kind of, we want legislators to understand that this is not people coming into our state. These are people that are Dallasites that work in this industry and have only ever worked in this industry for the most part.
The obvious question is,
Yes, sir.
from us too, being a high school program, have you guys considered tracking your active high school programs, your active college programs? That's money. State money gets spent on those programs. Those kids move on and do other things. Kind of, instead of catching them the moment they are getting paid for their second job, maybe capturing them before they even do that might be interesting data.
So we do a lot of workforce development. We've partnered with Pegasus Media Project to do our workforce training for this year. We're very excited because there's currently a House bill that's up for the creation of the Texas Film Academy. Do you remember the numbers of that one? House Bill
5 something.
I know there's been quite a number of film bills this year, but that one is actually in the Higher Education Committee right now. So that would be a massive workforce development program, and that would actually be hopefully hubbed in North Texas. For us, we are really tracking professional productions at the moment, and the reason why is we really know that the amount of production work that's happening here could easily put us in #1 for the state. Almost everyone that's here knows it and they feel it, but I just want the data to back it up so that we can claim it and put on a big foam finger and really enjoy ourselves, but yes, we work very closely with a lot of the collegiate programs and would love to get more involved with high school.
Yeah.
Yes, Steph.
So you're about to pack your bags, go to Cannes, and go to that film festival, that film market. What are you excited about? What are you looking at? What are your hopes and dreams for that visit?
I love that. So Cannes is the biggest festival in the world. So this is the Cannes International Film Festival. It's also the Marché du Film, which is the market that goes alongside the festival. I wish I could say that I see movies at festivals. I do not. So I attend many festivals throughout the year. I am 100% always networking. I am taking meetings, and I am talking to filmmakers who are in town, trying to convince them to come to Dallas. So a lot of this is rapport building. Not every filmmaker is going to have something in the pipeline that's going to fit for us here. But for the most part, we know that this kind of rapport building is incredibly important. Our industry is very small, it's very tight-knit, and so when you're top of mind, that's always the way to help get interest. So I will mostly be at the Film USA Pavilion on the Pantiero side, and I will be representing Dallas at the Film USA Pavilion on the world stage. It's quite exciting. It's really fun, and we meet international filmmakers. So it's worth it. It's the biggest, best one in the world, and I'm glad that we get to be a part of it. Did that answer your question? Did you have a second part to that?
No, I just want, if there's anything that you're excited about going to the film market, is there anything you've heard that you really want to discuss there, or any panels or anything? Or?
There's a massive amount of programming, so when I'm available, I go to those. Those are mostly for my own professional development. A lot of things about AI right now are being pushed in the forefront. There's a lot of conversation on what that's going to do for our workforce, how it's going to shorten some workforce pipelines or workflow pipelines, excuse me. So yeah, it's more just having an understanding of that and what that looks like for us. I wish I could get to see some films. There were some amazing ones there last year, so I just catch them when they hit the streamer.
Yeah.
Was there another question? I see a hand over here. No? Okay. You
Yeah.
did?
I was curious
Hi.
about the, you said when somebody's looking to do a project here, then you send them like a bunch of locations or like 6,000 or something.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go about finding those? Or do somebody call you and say,
I'll let Austin.
It's a mixture. So we do have a location database that is on our website. It is free for filmmakers to look at. So it's a mixture of relying on private property owners to be like, are you film friendly? They heard about us through either the Texas Film Commission, Fort Worth Film Commission, a location manager who shot there and said, hey, you should put your house on our in the directory. So it's a mixture of that, but it's also a mixture of me going out and looking. So right now there's a project I'm working on that involves a campsite, a campground. I've been to several campgrounds already. I have several more to go to. But it's trying to find the right option for the filmmaker, but also just to show them that Texas has what they're looking for. Dallas may not have it specifically, but the region around Dallas, the Metroplex, will have it. So it's a mixture of just like literally looking at the database, going out hunting myself, or calling a location manager and being like, hey, I think you did this before. Do you know X, Y, Z? Are you willing to share that with me? And it's usually yes, because it's for the benefit of everyone.
We do something called Google Scouting a
Yeah,
lot,
that too.
where we just kind of look up and see
Yeah.
if there's things in the area, and then Austin will go
Yeah,
out and
I'll
shoot
go
it to
look
make
at it.
sure that we can pitch it
Yeah.
and meet with owners.
Yeah.
I will say, as a former locations person in the production world, this is something that we would love for people to have a better understanding of. So if you're a business owner, or if you own a location, if you have a rental house, it's the best case scenario. This can be quite lucrative as passive income. A film production can rent out your space, and the rule of thumb in our world, and this is typically, it's not always, it really depends on the budget, but it's typically what a monthly mortgage payment is what you get per day of filming. They have that for prep and wrap days, but that's kind of the soft rule of thumb on that. It really depends on their budget. For businesses, it also depends on the usage. Are you a full buyout of a property? So like if we wanted just this room for filming, it might be different than if we wanted to take the whole space, if we needed parking spaces, if we needed to turn off fridges or hire extra staff members to be here for us. So it really, everything and anything is negotiable. So if you're the kind of person, I always say, if you're the kind of person that could throw a wedding at your house or at your venue space, then you're perfect for filmmaking, because it's exactly like a wedding. Everyone's been to a wedding in here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The director's the bride. You have caterers, you have people bringing in decorations, you might have to bring in extra porta potties for all the people. There's going to be about 120 people on your property, easy.
Yeah.
So like really, if there's almost a wedding equivalent for every single department on a film shoot.
Yeah.
So we're always really trying to make sure that people are very comfortable with that idea,
Yeah.
because it can be overwhelming to have that many people in your space.
Yeah.
But if that sounds like something you want to do, please get in contact with us. More specifically with Austin, because we will pitch your property.
Yeah, and it's not hard. Just let me see your property, and then let me know how comfortable you are. Another thing is that we do have another project that's in the works that if people have questions about like, hey, this place there's a project that's wanting to scout my house, is this legit? I encourage people to call me, because if I don't know it, then that is a problem on that production. But I usually know what's happening here, and that's just because like I want to make sure that the production is safe, but also that the property is safe as well. So it's a lot of balancing.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
Let us vet productions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned,
Yes.
you mentioned AI and tracking development. Is that friendly or foe to you though?
I have opinions. I'm not going to publicly share them, but it is something that we need to watch, because we are first and foremost workforce advocates. So we want to make sure that there's that it is a proper tool and not necessarily a replacement for for workers. But again, automation is always going to reduce the workforce and just create different jobs. So this is why we're taking an interest in it, to making sure that we have an understanding and we can help guide like our education programs, and that we can shift some of our workforce, or however we need to change with the times.
Yeah.
We want to do it. So
That's a part of your data gathering.
it's just professional development on our end, where we always want to be as well informed as we can on changing landscapes of our industry. So yes, okay.
I won't comment.
Yes.
I won't comment on the record. Yes.
I asked Tony this, and I'm going to ask you, is
Okay.
there any developments with Hensley Field, the old Dallas Naval Air Station? I know that Netflix and Metro and Amazon have looked at purchasing the Dallas Naval Air Station, turning it into sound stages. Is there any movement on that, or any talk?
Nothing that I am aware of.
Yeah, same.
I haven't heard
know about
anything
that.
about this.
Okay.
I'll be very honest.
Was
But
that
now
written up-
I'm
was
going to
that
dig
written
into
up
it.
somewhere?
It's been written up for the last 10, 12 years.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's the city of Dallas that owns the old Naval Air Station, but the problem is with the jet fuel and stuff that's been dumped there and the cleanup.
Oh, it's Browns Fields probably, right? It's
In Hensley Field up in.
Yeah.
no. Like the site has been deemed probably
Yeah, the city of Dallas uses
environmentally
it-
unsound.
Yeah, the city of Dallas uses it for stores. They store old police cars. They aren't old maintenance vehicles. But I know that Amazon has been interested in it because they own MGM, and Netflix at one point was there. And Tony indicated last year that there might be still interest from other studios.
Well, at the end of this week, I will have been here 5 months, and in those 5 months, I have not heard anything about this. But now I'm going to see what I can find out. But
Yeah,
thank you
that's
for bringing that to our attention.
Let's have Austin scouted. And he'll wear a gas mask.
Okay, nah, man. I'm involved. Okay, I'm back on it. Yeah, as long as you involve PPE, I'm
Yes.
good. As you provide PPE.
Good lead, Deb. Thank you for that.
Hensley Film.
And I have one more question.
Sure.
I'm involved in the film festival world. A lot of us are. So how can the Dallas Film Commission help film festivals, put on their events, but also to program top-notch films from all over?
Well, we are proud sponsors of many of our local festivals. We also attend a lot of our festivals. So while we're outside of our market, a lot of it is also allowing filmmakers to know that they have the opportunity to screen at some of our festivals and try to help drive submissions to our local festivals. We have a very, hopefully, knock wood, exciting proposal for something that we're hoping to announce very soon. I can't yet talk about it yet, but you guys will be on the email list. Yeah, we are always trying to make sure that we can amplify our film. I saw you at the last 2 local ones, and
And I'm on the board of the Asian Film Festival.
and I'm gonna see you at the
you'll
next
see
one
us there.
probably. So, yep.
Then there's also like just talking to filmmakers of saying like, you can make your next movie here in Dallas, but to also just show that Dallas-Fort Worth is Oscar qualifying like cities, so you have the option, if you have the budget, if you can afford it, to put basically it's a four-wall theater and just do an Oscar qualifying run. So, for example, we will just say the Texas Theater. The Texas Theater, you can rent out a screen 7 days a week and hit the right threshold to become Oscar qualifying. So that's just another side of the equation. It's like, yes, we are really proud sponsors. We go to these festivals. We want people to meet. We want to meet with the filmmakers. We want them to meet with us, but to also show them that you can make your next movie here in Dallas. You can also screen your current movie here in Dallas. If you think you can do the Oscars, like you can do everything here. You don't need to go to LA and New York. You can do it here, and that's part of the messaging to the filmmakers.
And we're way more affordable to run a theater here in Dallas than it is in LA or New York.
Or Chicago, or Atlanta.
Right.
What's the sixth
Great
one?
point.
As part of your recruitment process, also like in reality shows and everything?
Absolutely, yeah.
Entertainment like American Idol and some of those other programs, because I know they used to come to town here
Yes.
For years.
So we just spoke with American Ninja Warrior,
Yeah.
which I guess had shot here previously.
At Fair Park.
You
So,
set up at the state fair.
A
yeah.
lot of poses for that. when I was-
Exactly. So we had a great conversation with them about how they had shot here previously. We're hoping that they come back. I don't know if it's in the cards, but it was a great conversation, and it's a lot of what we do is also just kind of revisiting previous, clientele, for lack of a better term, to see if we can have that kind of repeat, production. So yeah, it doesn't matter the genre, if it's unscripted or if it's narrative. We're gonna have it here and make sure people are working on it.
'Cause I haven't seen a Dallas joint on Donner's Dive-Ins and Drives for a long time.
He actually did just come through.
He just came through.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see it soon.
Yeah. It may have aired already.
Yeah.
He came through in December.
December.
How about
Yeah.
home improvement shows?
I know HGTV is always around.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of HGTV
Flying around.
shows.
I'm trying to think what I've seen across.
And the other thing is that we're also trying to keep track of our filmography. So we have a fantastic history going back many, 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 many years, all the way back
Decades.
to really truly decades. Back to like Walker, Texas Ranger, and RoboCop, and all of those. So really, we're also part archivists on top of everything else that we do, just to make sure that we have a good sense of, because you never know, 20 years from now, there might be somebody's, granddaddy's restaurant was on a show or something, and they want to know what the episode number is or something, and we have the records of that. So we're preserving a lot of history on the silver screen, and that's something that I don't think a lot of people ever think about either. Anyone that's ever seen a property get torn down and remember it from their youth, and sometimes it might have appeared in a movie or something. It's a way of revisiting history and having kind of encapsulated it that way. So.
I wish when I was working here in Dallas, in one of these, I wish I was using you as a resource there, because, someone say, did you see such and such on HGTV or, Diner Drive-Ins and Dallas? You gotta come out and tell me these kind of things.
Yeah. Well, please reach out to us, because even if we don't know it right off the bat, we're going to dig and find it for you all. So we just had, the Dallas Observer just did a piece, was that last month or 2 months ago?
February.
Oh, that was a while ago. But they wanted to do a piece on kind of how, not film-induced tourism, but how film-induced celebrity kind of happens in Dallas, where we get a lot of celebrity visitors that come into town, sometimes when they're working on projects and sometimes when they're not. And we did a massive deep dive, and we actually reached out to all of our partners, some of them at film festivals, and we tried to piece together some of where our celebrities were eating and what restaurants they were visiting, because that can be a massive boon for businesses to have a celebrity being seen at their location. And also it's kind of exciting sometimes to get to serve an A-lister and have that moment and maybe put their headshot on your wall or something. So it was a really fun project for us, because it was not a typical question that we normally get, but we had that information. So
Even as a news organization, you're looking for that type of social media.
absolutely.
And that drives good engagement.
It definitely does.
News organizations' health.
Yeah.
And then whenever you write about it, let us know, because we'll post it.
Yeah. Please let me know.
Yes, sir.
So you said that you guys have lists of everything like the walkers and stuff. I know that shooting in Dallas goes back to what, the 20s?
Probably.
It's
50s,
on there.
60s were really busy days.
It's on there.
So it's all there?
Yeah, it's on there. I know the 20s are there because I've been working on it. So.
That's awesome.
Jameson.
Yes.
Jameson did a lot in the 20s.
Well, Texas film history, y'all don't need me to say it, but Texas film history is very deep. We were called the Third Coast at one time. Bless you. And it's one of those things that.
And we've got a film festival that covers that.
Yeah.
They
Right.
came from Texas.
Yeah.
Festival.
So it's one of those things that we just want to continually support, that intel legislation that history's here.
Yeah.
The film's here.
Where were we that we saw the
NPS.
NPS? So we did a tour of NPS. I don't know if you've seen their stages, but he has a photo of his father and grandfather that went back to the turn of the century with their original production company.
Yeah, over in like Deep Ellum.
Yeah, so there is a really beautiful history here, and we're happy to be able to talk about it.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we've talked about attracting productions here. We've talked about film festivals. Let's talk about the end of the process, movie theaters. We have a lot of great movie theaters here. We have the Plaza Theater in the city of Garland. We have the Texas Theater, which Barack and company have done a wonderful job of restoring and keeping up running. So do you guys have any plans to help or promote the local theaters here? Because, you know, we're reading news stories and the trade magazines and the big newspapers that people want to stay home. They don't want to get dressed and go to the movies anymore. They want to stay home. So what would the Film Commission, or do you have any plans of helping those theaters and keeping them busy and keeping them open?
Well, I think the box office numbers from Sinners and Thunderbolts challenges that. So here's a really interesting fact that just happened when we received qualifying status, was that the Academy looked at markets that had the most ticket sales for theatrical releases, and Dallas exceeded that of Miami. So they dropped Miami from their roster of qualified cities, and DFW became the 6th city in which you can qualify for the Academy Awards. So that to us lets us know that our community is thirsty for this kind of content. They enjoy going to the theaters. We go to our local theaters all the time. We're really wonderful partners with a lot of them. Obviously, a lot of them are hosting festivals or doing screenings or doing independent showings. And we couldn't be more proud to have them be so involved with our community. So I think that's a really exciting, data point that I think a lot of people weren't realizing before. We're an exception, which is nice.
I was about to say, I will just say, like, if you ever been down Jefferson on a Saturday night by the Texas Theater, just watch the crowd that goes there.
Yeah.
And we're talking folks who have been watching movies their entire life, and people who were born after 2000, who are all attending movies of the. Yeah. There you go. Congratulations. So, there's just a wide range of crowds that attend, like the Texas, the Angelica, the Violet Crown. But we have so many theaters here that are consistently busy, and that is a rarity across Texas, across the country right now.
Across the country, for sure.
So we didn't just get the Oscar qualifying because we're Dallas-Fort Worth. We got it for a reason.
I would also encourage you all, if you haven't looked at or want to write a piece about, the Forest Theater is having a massive historic renovation and revitalization and expanding that theater, and that is going to be so amazing for.
When do they set to open?
Next year. It's about a year, right?
Yeah, they're Ooh.
Are you excellent? Thank you so much for covering that. We did a hard hat tour. I am super impressed. I'm so stoked about it. I think they said next
summer.
Summer?
Next summer.
Okay, that's great.
Awesome.
I'm not going to speak for them, but they are trying.
You should all reach out to them because they will absolutely give you a hard hat tour, which is very exciting if you've never worn a hard hat and went to on a construction site. But it's really going to be a beautiful addition to our theater spaces, and rightly so. It deserves to sparkle.
Yeah.
Well, we have about 5 minutes left.
Great.
Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you would like to bring up, or?
There's so much going on.
If you haven't been,
Quick question. Whenever you are talking to filmmakers, what are the things about Dallas that kind of separates it from everybody else?
Ooh, I love the architecture. We talk about the architecture a lot. This city is beautiful, and there's really a wide kind of scope of
breadth.
looks,
Yes.
that we really like to promote. There are parts of downtown that look like other cities, which is great for doubling, but also there's some architecture that can be like totally futuristic and kind of like almost Westworld-esque about it. That's really fun. And then of course we have things that are period appropriate. That's great. There's just a lot of interesting.
You don't have Dallas without Fair Park. Fair Park is one of the most impressive things in this country, and the fact that it's still frozen.
Frozen time, yeah.
Frozen from the 1920s.
The largest Art Deco installation in the world.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
that is a backlot, and it is a wonderful playground. And like,
Massive asset.
what, Fair Park is like, what, 5 miles away from City Hall?
Yeah.
That's a thing. And then like the other thing to flip off of the looks, I think our crew is the most important thing here. I've worked in this crew. I see how special this crew is. And I think that really sets us apart from the other crews in Texas, but in the country. We're hard workers. We get the job done. And we also have a good time doing it.
And y'all are nice.
Yeah, and we're really
Have you
nice.
met Dallasites? They are so nice.
So I think that's like the most important that's something that just gets overlooked. You know, you can't make a movie without the crew, and I think the crew is special.
Now, are you finding the projects to be more modern or historic in that way, or is it just a mix of everything?
It's a mix.
Yeah,
We
it's a
get
mix
a lot
right
of
now.
things that they really want the stockyards, and they come to us thinking that we're Fort Worth. But we have a really good relationship with Taylor Hardy over at Fort Worth, so we just send them her way. But we don't have what they need. So,
Gotcha.
and we're okay. Like we understand that no is an appropriate answer because producers need an answer and they need it fast.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna just be like, oh, well, maybe we can make this work. It's not working here. Go to the stockyards. It's fine.
Yeah.
So for us, we know that if they're looking for, and it works in reverse too. When they go to Taylor and they're like, oh, where are the skyscrapers? They come to us. So yeah, we work in tandem, and we really actually love working with her. So
If you guys haven't written your representatives about the film bill, I would just say
yes, please do that. Good call.
Just throwing that out there. Just let them know that this bill is very important, and you can tell them your story. You don't have to tell them the story either. You can do whatever you want. Just be nice to them, especially if you've taken my advice right now. There's just a lot of good energy right now in the state of Texas regarding film, and we're hoping that this thing crosses the finish line, and it will. And September 1 is a whole new ball game.
Awesome.